We've made it safely to the Great Smoky Mountain National Park. First long distance trip for Troop 30 in quite some time. We have 5 scouts, 2 of which are trying to sneak by right now, but they will be captured. And we have 6 adults. So we've got all the tents set up. Gorgeous evening right now. Looking forward to some horseback riding and rafting tomorrow. Backpacking later in the week, and who knows what else.
Frozen scrambled eggs. Looky there.
A new experience in cooking for our scouts and those, I believe. First time cooking frozen scrambled eggs?
Yep. Some of this for some of ours right here.
Ow! Evan, stop! Stop putting grease everywhere, Evan.
Yep.
You put some grease on this mosquito bite.
Right here at Smoky Mountain Riding Stable for our ride. 9 o'clock in the morning. Got the group all together.
Ma'am, right up there.
We had a kid on this, so
Since we get to class for dodgeball.
Yeah.
That's probably better.
Vegetable cow.
So what'd you guys think?
what'd you think? Sit back.
Our train robber over there. They must not have slept well too much last night. They're all awful quiet.
I couldn't sleep, and then when I finally did fall asleep.
I thought it was raining. I was like, there's no.
Half of what on each side, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Try to wedge yourself in the crease there.
Got my toes wedged
You
in.
can wedge your at least 1 foot underneath the thwart. We're ready to rock and roll, right guys?
Come on, Boy Scouts.
So here we are in the Pigeon River with Rapid Expeditions, getting ready to take off from the waterhouse. There's one of our guides with the group.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
Alrighty, hands on key grips looking good. Let's try 2 forward. non-stop. You blink your eye, you're getting pinned up, you know?
See, Nathan?
It was the most intense thing I've done ever.
Wow. You need some help here now? Getting these guys caught.
They're just go like 2 forward, come on, just me and you.
I've been real impressed till I come up with a salmon.
Yeah, there you go.
No salmon here. No trout.
Trout?
Yeah, we got.
Okay, boys, don't take off. I need that muscle.
So we have some scouts down here playing in Cosby Creek. The other two around somewhere also. I'm going to go hike up to Mount Cammerer. We got a few that went into Gatlinburg. Some that are studying the Bible. One that's sleeping. I motored up the Low Gap Trail here. Excellent time for me. About an hour, 10 minutes. Hour and 15 at most. No breaks. But given all the hiking that Sydney and I did on our western road trip, this was decidedly easy, even though it was quite steep. It's probably 2,000 feet of elevation gain, something close to that. Humidity is killing me though. Probably can't see it on the video, but my sleeves are soaking. My shirt is totally soaked. I didn't bother using the belt on my backpack because I only probably have 6 or 7 pounds on me. This is one reason I'm not incredibly fond of the Smokies. I'm walking on the ridge and surrounded by rhododendron, or maybe mountain laurel. They look similar. And at least we're getting out into a slightly open spot again, but generally you don't have views on the Appalachian Trail. They're few and far between. Well, my time out to Mount Cammerer is not very impressive, actually. Kind of ironic, but I think I actually slowed down a little bit because the terrain was a little bit easier. Instead of a steep uphill, it was kind of a gradual uphill. But I also took about 15 minutes to chat with a older gentleman, probably mid-60s, that was through hiking the Appalachian Trail southbound. Fortunately, it's hot and hazy. Well, not so hot up here, but hot in the valley. It's supposed to be up around 90 in Gatlinburg. But very hazy, hence the name Smoky Mountains, I guess. See I-40 out there. This is the North Carolina side over here. That mountain out there should be Springer. No, not Springer. Oh, Sterling. Mount Sterling. That's where Sam and I were last summer. We went down basically that long ridge there on the Baxter Creek Trail back to the Big Creek Campground. I've made better time than I thought I did to the lookout. Just like it took 70 minutes to go from the Cosby Amphitheater to Low Gap, it took me 70 minutes to go from Low Gap to the Mount Cammerer lookout, which, while the distance is like 2/10 of a mile shorter, I guess. That does include my long chat with the through hiker. So still about probably close to a 2.5 mile per hour average. So on some significant uphill. So I'm pretty pleased about that. I'll see if I can manage to get back in about 2 hours or so. Dear inconsiderate hiker, I know it must be really difficult to dig a small hole and bury your toilet paper, or heaven forbid have to pull out a Ziploc bag and pack it out. I was really looking forward to finding some toilet paper flowers on my hike, and gee, I'm happy that you were able to leave one for me. I hope next time that you are a bit more considerate of others and their wilderness experience. Thanks. And here I am back at our campground in right about 2 hours. So excellent time going up and excellent time coming down for me. Well, we finally got rain here. Had our dinner of sausage and macaroni and cheese and watermelon, kindly provided by the De La Cruzes that had gone into Gatlinburg. And we still have dessert cooking on the fire, right? Got like a blueberry cobbler or something? Blueberry cobbler cooking in the fire. Yep, got the Dutch oven down in there. So, first time we had to set up the canopies, working great. And here's our blueberry cobbler kind of thingy. Courtesy our cook, Mark.
There we go.
Oh, yeah.
Alrighty. Let's get a bigger spoon, boys. John.
It would not be a Troop 30 outing without a nice downpour, right?
Get off, you're wet.
I know I'm wet.
Just when you think it couldn't come down any harder. Some nice puddles under our tents on those pads over there. It's a beautiful Thursday morning after several hours of, both heavy and light rain. No tents washed away, a little bit of water inside some of them. Thankfully, I was pretty impressed with the Lunar Duo. Didn't have any water in ours. But yeah, it was an interesting experience, I think, for those not used to heavy rain while camping, though. Troop 30's should be quite experienced with that, at least the older boys. Well, it's about 4.8 miles, I think, to campsite 34. This is one of the damaged sections on the trail. Why it had been closed after that supposed small tornado that came through. We had to make our reservations for 34 and 29 a week or two later than what we had wanted because they were closed because of all this damage on the trail. It's a pretty steep spur trail coming down, but pretty beautiful fall, especially if you can get here early in the morning when there's no sun on it. Would have expected a little more water with the amount of rain we got last night. Mrs. Ray and I made it to Site 34. This is the upper portion of it. The boys and other two adults stayed behind and played in Henwallow Falls for quite some time. So we just decided to continue on since Mary's probably the slowest one here. Though this last part of the trail, she just booked it. We didn't take any breaks at all. So she's pretty good coming the rest of the way here, the last 2.5 miles or so from where we were waiting. The lower portion of 34 doesn't look very impressive. And we got bear cables, of course. And it's quite rocky. Very few spots to throw up a tent. However, yet again, it's one of those deceptive Smoky's campsites where you follow this trail all the way down the hill and eventually you'll get to 3 other sites that have fire rings, and they also have a set of bear cables down there. So we just had our major downpour for the evening, having some small creeks run through the campsite and all. But had to throw the extra tarp over Sydney's tent again down there. And the creek is running just a little bit faster now over the Cascades, so that's very pretty. Hopefully we're done for the evening so we can get a nice dinner in. Yeah, it's a pretty nice morning. Not perfectly clear, a little bit cloudy. We had some unwelcome visitors last night. They got into several of our food bags though. Some mice or chipmunk, well, maybe not chipmunk, squirrels perhaps, but I'm betting on mice. They're very popular in the Smokies. But yeah, I had to sacrifice a few meals that my son and I'll go ahead and eat that they got into, and some trail mix. Even though you put them on the cables, it's not necessarily safe. But it's a good morning. The rest of the boys and Mark and Ramon took off probably 20 minutes ago by now. .2 miles, apparently. Now just 5 of us are electing to do the Albright Grove loop, while the other 3 will meet us at the junction, saving 4/10 of a mile.
Was it beautiful?
Yeah, I think you made a good choice though.
Good.
I didn't really see that much. Of course, I think they were really just wanting to do that just to see if they could beat you here.
Boy,
They were zipping.
They almost did too. I just sat down and I heard footsteps behind me.
Enjoying some tuna surprise. Ranch dressing. Sunflower seeds or peanuts. Cranberries or raisins. And tuna. Pile it into a burrito. Like so. And it comes delicious. And you can't beat the scenery either.
Oh, the wrap. Wonderful.
Now here are some very satisfied customers.
We're probably pretty close to the campsite 29. And there's this little spur trail coming out to this nice little viewpoint. You can get a good view of kind of the whole area. can see a lot of stuff out to dry.
Yeah. I hope it makes for a better sleeping tonight.
Yeah, recovering from the heavy rain the last 2 evenings. Some more drying items on the bear cables there.
I'd say their clothes dry, and now it's left over.
We put the tarp over Sydney's tent before it started raining this time so we could get a better pitch on that. So that should help. Well, I think we've made it to Madron Bald. It's not as bald as some of the other ones, if that's the case. As you can see, it's relatively overcast. We did get the usual rain yesterday afternoon, though thankfully it was not as heavy or long-lasting as the previous 2 days. So that wasn't too bad. And we got more rodent visitors during the night in our food bags up on the bear cables, so we're pretty much down to nothing for lunch today. But ideally, we'll be back at camp pretty close to lunchtime, so that shouldn't be that big of a deal. We do have some leftover sunflower seeds and craisins, and I think 2 bags of trail mix that have not been pilfered. The other group had left before us again this morning. We stayed back and filtered some water. And surprisingly, we actually haven't caught them this time. Previously, we've always been able to catch them, even though we go pretty slow. We're probably pretty close to the junction now, but the rain is starting to fall again. We'll see whether we get a hard rain or not. Or just some light sprinkles. Oh, looky there. We caught up to the group again. Just when you thought we wouldn't catch them, there they are at the junction. Well, it has stopped raining now, and we even have a little bit of sun coming out. So it looked like we were going to be in the clouds for a while. It's pretty foggy up here. Getting some sprinkles starting up again. Haven't made it to the creek crossing yet, so I'm not really sure how far we have left, but we just keep saying it's 3 more miles. Just 3 more miles. Over the next hill. Made it to that crossing that I was mentioning. Can't remember the name, like Inabu, or it was a short name that began with IN. I remember that. Has a knob of the same name too. Nice little cascade there. We reached the traffic circle and Now on just a normal road, heading to the campsite. Probably less than a mile left to go.
Little cemetery.
Looks like a nice little old cemetery here.
Wow.
These litter the national park.
Very good. Look at that. Cool. Couple newer headstones.
We've made it back to the campground area, or should very, very soon. However, the little campground map is not drawn to a very good scale because it showed the low gap connector horse trail, or Cosby horse trail, whatever they call that thing, going right behind our sites, and it does not. So we had to get on this little gravel road here.
Gee, it looks like it's raining.
You think? Yeah, at least the sun is out now, yeah. So I think at least all of us that have been on the hike have decided that we're leaving today. We're going to have a big late lunch or early dinner, whatever we call it, and then start heading for home because most everybody's got wet gear except for us. And they're just plain pooped. Well, we made a quick lunch of chicken, mashed potatoes, and corn. It's yummy stuff, and we are abandoning ship. The rats are getting off the boat before it goes under. We've already heard thunder, in fact, so we've been trying to pack up real quick. Thankfully, we did have a tarp to cover the patrol box. Everything else shouldn't be too messed up if it gets wet. So this is the end of our Troop 30 Great Smoky Mountains adventure.